Hey, look at this. Akora Play Season 4 Spotlight. Alright, let's see what the top alchemists have to say. Big Kazungas. Mr. TylerYT. I'll be waiting on Jacksonation to reach out with a handsome offer for me to make an appearance to my Season 4 deck profiles. My man. Heck yeah. Man, I'm gonna hit him up right now. Well, better late than never, I suppose. But here we are in Akora Play. It's actually January. I wouldn't say I'm a procrastinator, but I'm probably a procrastinator. Anyways, here we are now with TylerYT's winning deck list from Akora Play Season 4. This was the season of the electric attribute. All the top 3 placing decks were in fact electric attribute. And I have just been given the rundown. Let's take a look. What made this deck stand out from the other competition at the time? Well, starting off, we have Thunder Chicken as the Akora in this deck. Jinsoko is it's got a few things going for it. First and foremost, it's got Rage, Unleashed, Synergy, Beast type, alright? That is very, very important. Now, other Akora during this era have abilities, I believe, Ikino, right? This is a big electric type Akora from Grodhelm Uprising, right, format. But it is not seen play in this deck. It is instead Jinsoko. I know other decks like, I'm trying to say it's Satuki Hane? Satuki, I can't remember the name. That was another big Akora during this time. Very, very neat. Next up, in terms of the actual main alchemy deck, we're starting off with our flashes. This deck contains 3 copies of Ancient Calling, an amazing card for attack negation, a big staple in just about every single competitive Akora deck. Next up, we are running 3 copies of Thunder Feather. During your turn, discard 1 electric attribute card and destroy 1 of your electric relic shards. Search your alchemy deck for 1 electric attribute battle zone card, reveal it, and add it to your hand. You may send your opponent's battle zone card to the bottom of their alchemy deck. You cannot attack this turn. 2 amazing abilities on this card. Very, very solid, allowing you to basically add your battle zone to your hand and disrupt the opponent at the same time. Moving on, 2 copies of Zapped. Zapped has a relic cost of 5, making it a little more expensive and definitely a more endgame card. But when your opponent attacks, you may flip this card, destroy 2 of your electric relic shards, negate the attack, and reduce the stage of your opponent's Akora by 1. Think about that. This isn't just explosion. This is negating the damage on top of reducing the opponent. So it's effectively the electric attribute equivalent of explosion, a slightly weaker ability than explosion, arguably, but still very, very insane. And top it off, maybe a lights out. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. I don't believe he's running. No, he's not running lights out. But if you were, you can see how reducing your opponent all the way from their stage 3 to a stage 1 would be pretty effective. Next up, we're running kind of a signature card of Mr. TylerYT, Rags to Riches. During your turn, if your relic count is lower than your opponent's, search your alchemy deck for 1 relic shard or 1 stone of Akora, reveal it, and add it to your hand. When your opponent attacks, and if you have a stone of Akora in play, you may send this card from your Dark Zone to your Purgatory to negate the attack. You cannot attack during the next turn. So this card is amazing because you first off, get to add a Stone of Akora, which adds to relic count, but does not take on the attribute of your Akora. So you have effectively an indestructible relic shard, an untouchable relic shard, can't be frozen, none of that. Add it straight to your hand, and you're setting yourself up for a future attack negate. That's why Rags to Riches does make a big difference, first appearing in Grudham Uprising, first appearing during this format. Next, we have 2 copies of Stormbird's Cry. This card can only be activated if your Akora is Beast type. During your turn, discard your hand and draw 2 cards. Very, very straightforward, and perhaps a very good reason to be using a Beast type or Thunder Chicken as your Akora. Next up, another big electric attribute staple, Flash Step. When your opponent activates an alchemy card when your Akora attacks, so when your opponent has a response to your attack, you may flip this card, negate that card's effect. It is a response to your opponent's response, and I think that's really funny. To top it off, if you have Electric Ruins in play, search your alchemy deck for 1 Electric Relic Shard, reveal it, and add it to your hand. Very, very solid. Next up, we're moving on to our armaments. Our armaments starting off with a Charged Gauntlet. The equipped Akora gains 300 attack power, and during your turn, if you have less Alchemist Essence than your opponent, you may destroy this card, and your attack cannot be negated. Next card is going to be Rage Unleashed. Now, that Beast type synergy I was talking about, I love this card, same with like Darkness Within. These types of multi-attribute cards that can be thrown into any deck that meet that Beast type or, in other cases, Demon type synergy. Just get to destroy this card and play a shard from deck. Not add to your hand, play that shard. So, effectively, in one turn, so say you're going first, you play your shard for turn, so now you have 2 shards in play, and then you crack Rage Unleashed, and now you're at 3. Turn 1. Phenomenal. And if you get enough of these off, if you're able to combo hard enough, in some cases, it's even possible to, I think, get to stage 3 in some cases. I know that's possible in some attributes, not others. Some attributes have their own shard acceleration built in. There is an electric attribute card that I know for Senko that lets you reduce the amount of relic shards you need to relic up. So in a deck like that, that would work very, very well. But I guess you can't use Rage Unleashed because Senko is a warrior type. But if there was a warrior type equivalent, that would be very broken. Next up, we have Astri Necklace. Equip only to an electric attribute, only Akora. Each time your opponent's Akora attacks, deal 50 damage to your opponent's Alchemy Essence for each electric relic shard you have in play. And remember, electric is the shard acceleration deck. So you're dealing 250 damage. Every time your opponent attacks, it's like, I'm trying to think of the fire type equivalent, the hot coals equivalent, right? In the electric attribute, but better. So very, very neat. And our last armament is going to be White Lightning Claws. Equip only to a Beast type Akora. Your Akora gains 300 attack power. When your Akora deals attack damage, you may destroy this card and draw a card, then deal 50 damage to both players' Alchemist Essence for each relic shard in play, not just that you control, on the board in general. Very, very nice card indeed. Moving on, we have our single Eternity in this deck at 3 copies, Charged Ground with a relic cost of 3. Whilst active, when your opponent plays a relic shard from their hand, right, which you normally do in a game of Akora, they're going to be taking 200 damage to their Alchemy Essence. And when your opponent attacks, you may destroy this card and negate the attack. You can only have 1 active at one time. Very, very nice. Electric Ruins is going to be our battle zone. Your Akora gains 100 attack power for each electric relic shard you have in play. Once during your turn, search your alchemy deck for an electric relic shard, reveal it, and add it to your hand. Very, very nice. Finally, 12 Electric Relic Shards and 1 Stone of Akora to capitalize off of Rags to Riches. But yeah, that is going to be this deck profile. Let me go over 2 decks so that we can take a look at it more thoroughly right here. I will also be making this list public so that if you want to reference this, you absolutely can. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this deck profile. Hope you learned a little something. If you want to or you want to get into the Akora TCG, want some more resources to help you become a better alchemist, you can go to Akora, the official website, and that link will be in the description, as well as the official community Discord. Links will also be down there. If you want to support this channel financially, please go to the Patreon link in the description. And yeah, I think that is all for now. We have some more deck profiles in the works, but yeah, for now, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day.